Hey guys, welcome to Millennialships, your place for self-care and relationship advice. And today we're going to be talking about how to fight fair in love and relationships. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I have a really great topic for you guys. I'm going to be going through how to fight fair and how to make it so that your conversations and your arguments or anytime you fight, it's actually bringing you closer to your partner rather than tearing you down and tearing you apart. Unhealthy fighting, slowly, every time you have an unhealthy fight, it kind of just pulls you guys like this. So every time you're having an unhealthy fight, you're getting farther and farther away from each other, which is not a good long-term strategy because you're going to end up, on the opposite sides of the spectrum. But if you have healthy fighting techniques and you know how to communicate in a healthy way, then your fights actually make you closer because nobody's ever going to be on the same page all the time. So if you're ever on a different page and you guys are, having a discussion, your fights will bring you closer together, and this is actually going to make your bond stronger, which is a much better long-term strategy. So the first thing I want to touch on is that you should watch your phrasing. So even if you are right, you're absolutely right in an argument, if you phrase things in the wrong way, it's just going to it's not going to go well. Phrasing is really, really important. So let's say your boyfriend or your husband, they never help clean up. They never help clean up in the house. They don't do any single chores. Now, if you're going to go up to them and say, hey, it's totally not cool that I am doing all the chores by myself, you would be right. You are absolutely right. You go. That is a good thing to be bringing up, and you're going to win this argument if you do it in the right way. So the way that phrasing could totally tear down your perfectly right argument is by being really offensive and going at him guns a-blazing. So for example, if you come up to him and say, hey, this is total bullshit. I can't believe that you never help me out with any of this stuff. Why are you so lazy? It's whoa, you are totally attacking him and just making him feel like garbage, even though you actually do have a good point. So your phrasing really, 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 really matters, and you have to just make sure that you're always saying things in a way that is helpful and not hurtful and destructive. Oh, another way that you can actually help with your phrasing is by using I statements. So if we use that other example, rather than saying you're super lazy, I don't understand how you can be like this, you're talking about the other person and you're attacking them. And a way better way to start a conversation about something that you don't agree with is to talk about yourself and your feelings. So if you say stuff like, I feel overwhelmed that I have to take on all the housework, or I've been doing a lot of the housework lately and it's making me feel really stressed out, those are ways that you're telling him, hey, I'm just not feeling great about this. It's not that I'm attacking you. It's just that, I feel like maybe the workload is a little bit unfair. And that's a way healthier way to bring up a conversation, because now you guys are on the track of helping each other, and he can feel like he's helping you. Oh man, I didn't realize that it was hurting you. Yeah, sure, I have no problem with taking half of the chores. Another thing is to watch your tone. So there's a statistic that I have here. It is that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is the tone of voice, and 7% is the actual words spoken. So you only have 7% communication when you're only talking to the person, and 38% is actually with the tone of your voice. So the tone of your voice is super, super important. So if you're trying to talk to your partner about something that's bothering you, or if you're having a fight, you want to avoid negative tones. You want to avoid condescending tone of voice, loud, yelling, accusatory tones of voice. You just want to stay calm, stay positive, and even just don't take yourself so seriously sometimes. There are definitely serious topics that maybe you can't avoid this, but even something like the chores, for example, at the end of the day, the chores are not the biggest thing in the whole world. I mean, they're important, but you can just sort of be like, hey, it'd be really cool if you would help me out with the chores every once in a while. It doesn't have to be so serious, and the tone doesn't have to get so negative and offensive. So just watch your tone when you're talking to your partner. Another little tip is to talk about your emotions rather than acting on them. So let's say, for example, that you're super angry. Anger can be expressed if you act on it by like slamming a door, throwing stuff, yelling, screaming, crying. Those are all ways that you can express anger, and they're all pretty destructive and they're all really negative. So rather than acting on your emotions, it's much better to just talk about them and just say, hey, I'm really pissed, or like, I'm really mad that that this happened. And if you actually say, I'm really mad, that's you using an I statement again. And he doesn't want to make you feel mad. He doesn't want to make you feel sad. Your partner does want you to be happy. So if you're saying, I'm really mad at this, he's going to be more likely to be like, well, I'm sorry, like, why? Tell me what's going on. And now you've started a track of conversation. You've said, okay, I want to talk about this. But if you are yelling, screaming, slamming doors, then you're starting a conversation that's going to be like, we're going to fight about this. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to be fighting. So don't act on your emotions. Instead, talk about them. Is don't pull the turtle out of his shell. So I say that because men have an evolutionary history of fight or flight response. They're either going to fight something that is bothering them, or they're going to just retreat. So if you are attacking him, and you're up in his face and you're trying to say like, I want to talk about this right now and we need to talk about this, and he starts to retreat, that just means he's not gonna like knock you over the head. Like, he doesn't want to hurt you, he doesn't want to knock you, he doesn't want to start a fight, so he wants to retreat. So what happens is that women, they see this and then they start saying, okay, well, you're not listening, you're not talking, we need to talk about this. And if you imagine like a turtle who's scared and he goes inside his shell, that's basically like jamming your hand inside the turtle shell and trying to rip his head out so that he can look at you. And that's just not cool. You don't want to be doing that. So if you notice that your husband or your boyfriend is kind of retreating away, then it's really good to just let him have that moment. Be like, okay, if you don't want to talk about this now, let's take a break and we'll pick this up later. It's going to be much better than just trying to get him to talk or force him into talking if he's not ready to talk. So I'm going to leave it at that. I did touch on a few more details on my blog post. Just something, maybe I'll make another video about the difference between dirty fighting and healthy fighting. But for now, those are some tips on how you can fight fair. And the good news is, don't worry guys, it is a learned skill. So the more you practice on these, even if you just start doing one of those things at a time, the easier it's going to get. And then soon it's just going to become second nature. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos. And I'm going to leave all the links to everything that I discussed in the description below. And until next time, I will see you guys later.